Good morning from Washington. I'm still reporting on the economy. Whoa, big news on the state-owned banking front. Both the upper and the lower house of the California State Assembly, in a surprise move, swiftly passed a bill to establish a blue ribbon commission to study the idea of California owning its own bank along the model of the Bank of North Dakota. Called California Assembly Bill 750, proponents of the measure had feared it was dead for this year. However, in a stunning reversal, within 2 days, it passed both houses and was sent to Governor Jerry Brown for his signature. If Governor Brown signs the bill, it will be the first time since the Bank of North Dakota's founding in 1919 that a state bank has been considered. Voters of California need to write or call the governor's office to ask him to sign AB 750. So what's this all about? Until national monetary reform is politically possible in the United States, there is something we can do to help the financial situation of the 50 individual states. So let's start at the bottom and work our way up. Although most people don't know it, there are 2 ways to get a bank going. 1, by getting permission from the Federal Reserve System, or 2, by getting permission from your local state legislature. In fact, state-chartered banks were an American tradition more than a century before the creation of the Federal Reserve System. But even better is a state-owned bank devoted to the principle that state money should serve the public interest instead of serving the interests of the large New York money center banks. When a state charters its own bank, it deposits 100% of its money and tax receipts. Then, when you add in the value of the state's physical assets, all the roads, bridges, and buildings built up over hundreds of years, that makes a state-owned bank more financially solid than any commercial bank in the world. But the state bank is a real bank and can immediately start making loans to any state agency, any commercial in-state bank, or even individuals if the state charter allows it. When loaning to itself, the state would pay 0 interest. When loaning to others for projects generally thought to be in the public interest, it would only charge very low interest rates. Another benefit is that a state no longer has to pay any interest for infrastructure projects. Imagine the costs involved when a state borrows millions or billions of dollars, in the case of California, for major infrastructure projects. Think of your house mortgage. We all know that large loans paid over 30 years' time doubles or triples the original amount borrowed. All that interest goes away when a state borrows from its own state bank. For example, the former chairman of the Budget Committee of the Missouri House of Representatives, Alan Isett, told me during a recent visit to the Missouri state capitol that according to their calculations, a newly formed State Bank of Missouri could cut the state's budget deficit in half. In California's case, that would mean an additional $5 billion that would not have to be collected in taxes. So this is just an interesting theory, right? No, this is no theory. There is one state in the nation that has a state-chartered, state-owned bank, North Dakota, founded in 1919. So how's that been working out? North Dakota is the only state to keep a budget surplus since the banking crisis began in 2008. North Dakota has the lowest unemployment rate, the lowest credit card default rate, and one of the lowest tax rates in the nation, and it hasn't had a bank failure in over a decade. So the local banks must hate the Bank of North Dakota, right? Not. The local banking establishment loves the BND. They know BND helps keep everyone's taxes low. BND helps keep the foreclosure rate the lowest in the nation. And BND does not compete with local banks. but partners with them by acting as a sort of mini-Fed by providing short-term money when needed at low interest rates. And on top of that, BND has given over $300 million in profits in the last decade back to the state treasury. By contrast, while California's two largest state pension funds lost $170 billion in the financial crash, BND was making record profits for the citizens of North Dakota. The bottom line is a state-owned bank is a common-sense way to make state money bolster the state economy. Money must be a public utility, and banks must provide a competitive, profit-making environment for borrowing and lending. Again, the state bank takes nothing away from the state's commercial banking sector. The state-owned bank puts the state's money in the hands of we the people instead of the hands of the big New York banks. It's a great example of decentralization of power. It claws back the money power from the big banks. We urge everyone in California to contact Governor Jerry Brown's office. Jerry, I know your staff ordered 3 copies of The Secret of Oz during your campaign. Please sign this bill. It will go down as the best thing you will ever do for humanity. Hey, here's a shout out to my new friends, Ted at LL Bean, Alberto of Puerto Rico, Kevin from Kenya, and a big thanks to Simon of Australia, and a special round of applause to my old friend Ellen Brown, who has worked tirelessly to push through AB 750. I'm still reporting from Washington. Good morning.